These are some of my favorite Braves prospects who are flying under the radar right now, as they are currently ranked outside of my top 10. And if you haven't already seen that video, be sure to click on that video after this one and also hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Now, these are not in any specific order, as they are just lesser known prospects with various loud tools. I'm going to start with 5 pitchers, followed by 5 hitters, and starting with our first pitcher, we have Jhancarlos Lara. Signed for $10,000 out of the Dominican Republic in June of 2021, Lara came into the system as a young flame-throwing right-hander, sitting in the mid-90s deep into starts, but also showing pure gas, as Lara can run it up to as fast as 100 miles an hour. Now, despite all of this, his fastball isn't even his best pitch. His slider is, as his slider has sharp vertical movement to it, and Lara throws it hard at almost 90 miles an hour. So far, Lara's velocity has translated into plenty of strikeouts, but also plenty of walks, as that will be what Lara needs to work on to continue progressing through the Braves system, as right now he's walking way too many batters. But if Lara never figures out his command, he could still make a very nice bullpen arm, as his fastball-slider combo seems like they will develop into major league offerings at the minimum. Lara looks to repeat AA next year as a young 22-year-old, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds to the more advanced hitters in AA and AAA. Next, we have another flame-throwing pitcher in Blake Burkhalter. Burkhalter was the closer for Tim Hudson's Auburn Tigers, and the Braves drafted him in the free agent compensation round B of the 2022 MLB draft. Burkhalter sits in the mid-90s but has touched as high as 98 before. But like Lara, his best pitch isn't even his fastball. Instead, it's his cutter, which has good movement and he can throw as hard as 93 miles per hour. After drafting Burkhalter, the Braves decided to do with him what they've done with others in the past, like Spencer Schwellenbach and Reynaldo Lopez, and that's taking them out of the bullpen and moving them into a starting role. Now, unfortunately for Burkhalter and the Braves, in spring training of 2023, which was his first full year after being drafted, Burkhalter would go down, needing Tommy John surgery that would put him out for the entire year and part of 2024. But when Burkhalter came back, he turned in 14 beautiful starts at High A Rome, including an 11 strikeout, 6-inning shutout to help cap it all off. Burkhalter will come into the spring of 2025 looking to stay healthy, but also looking to continue to open eyes and move up the Braves system, as he's likely ticketed for AA to start the year. More pitching prospects, more problems is something Anthopoulos and the Braves have probably never said, as our next Braves pitching prospect, Garrett Baumann, comes in at an impressive 6'8", 240 pounds, and he's only 19 years old. The Braves took the big righty in the 4th round of the 2023 draft, but had to give him an honestly low to reasonable $750,000 signing bonus to get him to forego his commitment to the University of Central Florida. Baumann sits in the mid-90s, but unlike others, Baumann is a strike thrower, not issuing many free passes, especially for his age and size. Now, he's gonna need to develop a secondary pitch or two to be successful as a major league starter, but reports are that he already locates his changeup well, so that could continue to develop as he progresses. You normally don't see someone his size this in tune with their mechanics at such a young age. As in baseball, when you're as big as Baumann, it just adds more to the already complicated moving parts that go into a pitching motion, which is really important when trying to locate your pitches effectively at the major league level. Needless to say, it's gonna be an exciting year for Braves fans to watch the big righty develop. And if he can continue to repeat his mechanics at a high level while developing his pitches, then look out, as we could see Baumann start to make some noise and climb even further up the Braves minor league ladder. Now, he's likely to start 2025 back at High A Rome, but I doubt he stays there very long. And with good results, we could see Baumann start knocking on Atlanta's doorstep as early as spring of 2026 if everything goes well. Now, sticking with 19-year-olds, we've got Didier Fuentes. Fuentes has been an excellent under-the-radar signing for the Braves, as they gave the then 17-year-old $75,000 to sign out of Colombia. Fuentes immediately began turning some heads as he posted ridiculous numbers in the Dominican Summer League in 2023, and the Braves must have thought highly of him, as they brought the barely 18-year-old at the time stateside in his first professional year, and had him skip the complex league entirely and head straight to full season A-ball, where the young righty continued to strike out batters at an above average clip while limiting walks. 2024 had the still 18-year-old Fuentes head back to A-ball, where he continued to post ridiculous numbers against older competition. Fuentes will come into the spring of 2025 looking to continue to do what he's been doing, and that's run those strikeout numbers up and keep the walks down. Like Baumann before him, I'd expect to see him start the year at High A Rome, but he could also start the year or quickly move up to Double A Columbus and begin making some more prospect lists if he keeps mowing down batters and not issuing walks. Now, speaking of pitching prospects currently in Double A, we have Lucas Braun. Drafted in the 6th round of the 2023 draft for above slot, Braun came to Atlanta without much hype, but has quickly shown why Atlanta put their faith in drafting him, as Braun reached Double A in his first full year and put up impressive numbers, striking out more than a batter per 9 while limiting the walks. Now, reports are that Braun sits in the low 90s, but has topped out at as high as 95 before. His slider has the ability to become an above average offering to go along with his potentially average fastball. He also throws a curveball and a changeup that are both behind his fastball and slider in terms of development. Don't expect the 23-year-old Braun to blow hitters away with his electric stuff like others on this list. But despite all of that, Braun does profile very well as a back-end starter if he can just keep developing his fastball and slider, along with continuing to post good strikeout and walk rates. Look for Braun to head back to Double A to start 2025, or possibly Triple A Gwinnett, just depending on his and others' performances, as there's really just only so many starting spots at Gwinnett. Now on to the hitting section of this video. We are going to start with the only catcher on this list, and that is Luis Parababire. Signed in January of 2023 out of Venezuela, the 17-year-old Luis was first sent to the Dominican Summer League, where he showed good offensive numbers. 2024 saw Luis come stateside, where in 24 games he quietly put up fantastic numbers at the plate, walking at a higher rate than his strikeouts, while still slugging 11 doubles. Reports are that Luis is a physically mature catcher who has an above average bat speed. 2025 will see the freshly 19-year-old start in full season A-ball at Augusta, and because A-ball plays much more games than the rookie leagues, we will get to see a much better look at Luis and a better sample size to go off of. But if he continues to walk at a high rate and not strike out, then he could be a very interesting catching prospect for Atlanta. Now, sticking with international free agent signings, we have John Gil. Signed out of the Dominican Republic as a 17-year-old in January of 2023, Gil initially went to the Dominican Summer League, and like Luis before him, he quietly put up strong offensive numbers. 2024 saw Gil come stateside, where he continued to improve at the plate, even popping 3 home runs to go along with his low strikeout and good walk rate. Gil was then pushed all the way to A-ball Augusta, where he began to struggle a bit, but he still posted very good walk and strikeout rates, especially for someone his age. Now, reports are that Gil is an athletic shortstop who also gets good marks for his strength, despite only being 18 years old and 175 pounds. Gil will more than likely head back to Augusta in 2025, but if he continues to improve at the plate and starts to show off his athleticism more, then he will quickly start getting some more attention. Now for another Dominican Braves hitting prospect named John that was also signed in January of 2023, and John Estevez. Estevez was assigned to the Dominican Summer League, where the 6'3" lefty smashed 3 home runs along with an 18% walk and strikeout rate. In 2024, Estevez was brought stateside to the Complex League, where he continued to show good offensive numbers. Reports are that Estevez is an advanced hitter with good bat-to-ball skills. Unfortunately, reports are that he does have below average speed and arm strength, so he will have to be carried by his bat, and that is always a tough hill to climb. But if he can continue to show good discipline at the plate while beginning to tap into some of that raw power he has, then he has the potential to turn into a very nice offensive prospect. The Braves seem to have known something about the 2023 international class that others didn't, because our next prospect, Mario Baez, was also signed by Atlanta out of the Dominican in January of 2023 as a 16-year-old. And despite his age and size, Baez has more than held his own offensively. Baez was first sent to the Dominican Summer League, where he hit 3 home runs in 47 games to go along with an impressively low strikeout rate for someone his age. 2024 saw the barely 17-year-old Baez head to the Complex League, where he looked overmatched at the plate, but still had a good walk rate and a respectable strikeout rate. Now, reports are that Baez has elite speed and a potentially average glove, but despite this, he profiles better as a second or third baseman. Baez is still very young and has already shown good offensive numbers against competition older than him. I'm sure the Braves have a plan for the young 18-year-old moving forward, and 2025 will be a very interesting year for Baez, as he will likely be ticketed to begin the year at Single-A Augusta, along with a few others on this list. Now for our final prospect that's flying under the radar, we have Geraldo Quintero. Quintero was signed out of Venezuela for a modest $40,000 in 2019, where he went to the Dominican Summer League and showed good plate discipline. 2021 had Quintero come stateside to the Complex League, where he looked completely overmatched offensively. Thankfully though, in 2022, Quintero figured something out, as he popped 6 home runs in 91 games in Single-A, to go along with an above-average strikeout and walk rate. And the Braves rewarded the then 20-year-old by sending him to High A to finish out the year, where he continued to hold his own, popping 2 more home runs while maintaining his above-average walk rate. 2023 saw Quintero repeat High A, where he improved upon his numbers offensively. In 2024, the Braves brought Quintero to Double-A, where he continued to hold his own offensively, hitting 3 home runs and really not seeing much changes to his strikeout or walk rate, which is a good thing when you move up a level. Now, reports are that defensively, Quintero will have to stick at second base, as he does not have the arm strength for the left-hand side of the field. And while his speed is good, it's probably not much better than average. Quintero just does not have the power or the defensive profile to really do too much at the major league level, but if he can continue to hit like he has while not striking out and walking at a decent rate, then he has the potential to be a major league second baseman. But anyways, that'll do it for this one. If you guys can think of any prospect that I missed, be sure to comment them down below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, as it really helps this channel grow. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.